Here we're going to be removing the rear passenger dome light in a 2013 Honda Accord. This is very similar for many other models. So the first thing you want to do is remove this cap with either, you can use a flathead, a knife, one of the pry tools that you find on Amazon. It's sold as a little kit. This is pretty durable, so don't worry about cracking it really. Just get a nice flat entry and then just pop it off with some force, some leverage. So as you can see, there's no real piece that you can break here, which is nice. The next thing we want to do is remove this Phillips, or you can use a 7mm, but just use a Phillips screwdriver. So I already loosened this, and as you can see, I removed my bulb as well. So you'll see later in this video why I removed this bulb. So let me just unscrew this Phillips and I'll show you the rest. When you remove the Phillips, it'll look like this. It has a little washer on it, so just, store it. Be careful with it. The next thing we want to do is remove the power source. There's a clip on the side here that you press. Use two hands for this. You don't want to yank it. I already went ahead and unfastened it, so I could do it with one hand. Okay, once you remove that, it's going to release this housing here. And the reason I'm removing my housing is because if you can see, there is adhesive that is stuck on the ports. If you can see that yellow adhesive, and that adhesive is coming from, I placed a kit similar to this, which is somewhat of a converter. It plugs into the T10 socket, and then it lets you attach one of these light panels. So as you can see there, that's not your typical T10 bulb. It's a much brighter LED little panel here. But the thing with these is that I placed an even bigger one in the rear dome light, which was nice for a little bit until all of this adhesive started melting. And as a result, it melted onto the ports here. So it's not really conducting as efficiently. I went ahead and scraped out a lot of this a long time ago. But the thing is, you want to make sure you disconnect it and unplug it before you start touching this with metal, because otherwise you'll cause a short and you'll probably blow a fuse. So I have one of these in here right now, but as you can see, I still have some adhesive. Apologies for this autofocus. I still have adhesive that's coming off, so it's not really conducting too well. So I could either replace this bulb right now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape off the little pieces of adhesive that are left on here, and I'm going to just put a new bulb altogether since I have a 10-pack of these. So that should fix the light. So let me scrape this off I'm going to use a knife, and then I'm going to replace this bulb, and I'll show you guys after. Again, I had a panel that was pretty much as big as this entire housing, so maybe 3 times larger than that. So this adhesive got all over this interior and it would not even turn on or off. So I had to unscrew everything and scrape this out for a while. As you can see there, I've removed some of it, but this stuff is just so sticky. It's so thick that I can't really remove it too much. So most of it's gone. I'm going to just plug everything back in and it should work. But as you can see here, this is a new T10. Let it focus here. As you can see, there's no adhesive on this, so it should conduct much better. And that is the reason why you guys should not be purchasing these kits. I got this off DDM. So that plugs into the T10 port, and then you have a little harness here that connects your the little LED panel. But these panels start to, even though it's an LED, it still heats up, and the more diodes you have there, the hotter it's going to get. So this starts to stick on to whatever it is close to. So when you're working with very tight spaces like this, the adhesive tends to push up against, like as you can see here. So if this bulb was in here, it's pushing up against the housing like that. So that's how all the glue melted on there, and it's going to be a pain in the ass to fix. I think I blew a fuse out. I cleaned this about 2 years ago, so I'm just making the video for the sake of it. But try to avoid these at all costs. I know it's brighter and it looks nicer, but these T10s, these LED ones in comparison to the stock ones, will be more than bright enough. So yeah, I'm going to reassemble everything back together and hope you guys enjoyed. Just to show, I've added the new bulb. I have it on the off position, so the center part is going to be when your door is open, and this is to always have it on to the leftmost. So I have my door open right now. As you can see there, it's plenty bright, and then switch it to the left. This will always keep it on. So centers when you only have your doors open or when you turn your car off, and then off has it there. So I'm going to reattach the lid. Again, try to avoid those LED panels if you can, because when it's very tight space, once I put that lid back on, it's going to push it up against this housing if you use that style. So again, great in theory, but you're going to have a ton of problems if you use those because of the adhesives.